Why are you nitty gritty?
So I'm nitty gritty because nitty gritty is like down to the nitty gritty. And I
Right.
feel like my music is pretty similar to down to the nitty gritty. It's real deep with my emotions and where I come from and my soul.
Yeah.
So I felt like it really fit a lot. Just basically describing the fact that I kind of come from nothing. And I also speak about the fact that I come from nothing and I'm real deep with everything.
Okay. So, first of all, I like that explanation.
Mm,
What I'm curious about is why is that your route of music? Like, I'm not saying in terms of hip hop. I'm saying in music in general. A lot of music artists could easily just go down like pop artists can
mm.
sing about things that they never done, or it's not necessarily deep. You know what I'm saying? Why is that something that was important for you in your music?
I'm real vulnerable and honest in general. You know what I mean? So with music, I've always wanted to be authentic and not be like everybody else. And the best way to do that is to just dive deep and truly find who you are.
Right.
And first and foremost, music for me is therapy.
Mm, I
Um,
feel that.
you know what I mean? Like honestly, before I had music, I was a troubled kid, a lot of aggression, didn't know what to do with it. It was pent up. As soon as I was able to vent, especially us as men, like it's really hard to vent. So
Mm,
as soon as I was able to vent, it was like a relief.
right.
So I just felt like being real and being emotional and vulnerable was something you don't see very often, especially as a man in music. And it's so different that I was like, you know what, this is the route that I'm gonna take. And to be honest, I never like looked at other artists and be like, oh, that's who I want to be. It was just literally when a beat plays, I write what I feel inside.
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna have a theme or oh, I kind of want to rap about this. Like I just start writing, and it's always like from the heart. You know what I mean?
I love that, bro, because like I take that same exact approach.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not an interview about me. So I got so many questions, but it's
Yeah.
almost like I'm interviewing myself in a way because I feel that when I was growing up, man, like you said, as men, we don't get a place to vent without conditions.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Real
Like,
shit.
see, people are gonna look at us like, man, don't be a bitch, or like,
Don't be
man,
soft. You know what I mean?
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what I'm curious about is at what point you said venting. Are you talking about venting through music or just venting period?
Period.
Okay.
Venting. Period.
When did you discover that?
Venting. Period. Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when I started making music.
Okay.
Um,
How old were you?
I started making music when I was probably 15.
Okay.
Just messing around. You know what I mean? Like I would hear a song, like specifically a Lil Wayne song,
Right.
and then I would try to imitate his flow pattern and learn the flow pattern, and then write my own lyrics with his flow. And I was like, damn, I could do this. You know what I mean? I could
Yeah.
write and then say something to a beat, but it wasn't serious, obviously. But probably right around almost 16, I started really going through shit in life.
Mm.
Um, and that's when everything happened where it was like, all right, let's throw on a beat and let's actually fucking write. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, we were just fucking around, mind you, but yeah, it was just kind of natural, bro. It kind of just naturally went into real shit every time. Yeah,
Every
like
single time.
everybody around me is like, if we throw on a beat, everybody's like, oh yeah, Nitty, he gonna come with that real shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's not something that's forced. That's not something that's like, oh, I have to be like that. It's just who I am. Like it's really hard for me to be like
Inauthentic.
inauthentic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like so for me, it's just super easy, super just natural flow to just be flowing with what's inside. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
as far as the venting thing that you're talking about, the first time I actually did write like a deep song and like said it out loud in front of people, you get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. I was hooked. It was like, all right, like, and then you play it back and you just hear what you have inside of your soul. And you're like, this is shit that I have in my head. I have it in my heart, but now I'm hearing it and it helps you grow as an individual. Honestly, when I hear my songs back,
Oh.
bro, it helps me grow and be like, damn, like even songs I did like 4 or 5 years ago, I'm like, damn, I went through that like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, look who I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So honestly, like like I said, bro, the best way I can describe it is just therapy, and that's why I love
It's
to
facts,
vent
bro.
because it's just pure raw emotion.
Man, dude, I, man, I relate to that, especially when you say like it's crazy. Like this is in my head. You never know where it's at in your head,
Yeah,
and then you like release it on this track. right? It's so I'm curious if you run into the same issue that I run into. Do you get in trouble with like whoever the song it could be inspired by?
Yeah, all the time, man. So
Okay,
I get a lot of people that assume shit. Yeah, I
all
mean
right,
that assume that the song's about them. You know what I mean? Or if I, because I don't ever say names. I don't name drop. Obviously, I don't
right,
like, oh, this person did that to me or whatever. Like it's generalized as a they or her or she or him or he. So a
yeah,
lot of people try to fill those shoes when I'm saying something. You know what I mean? Because it is
mm.
so real to where they're like, damn, is he talking about me right there? And I just say the same thing every time. Like honestly, it doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Mm.
At the end of the day, I make music for me. However people's opinions are on it, good or bad, it doesn't bother me. I'm still gonna make music.
Yeah,
But if the shoe fits, wear it. You know what I mean? I don't try to change your mind. Like, oh, I wasn't talking about you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you feel I was talking about you, then maybe you probably went through something similar, or you have something against me. Whatever. That's on you. You know what I mean?
yeah. So then, how do you lose friends over that?
Yeah, yeah.
How
Oh
do you
yeah.
deal with that?
It's tough only for the people that I really have love for. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like to be honest with you, bro, I came from a big circle growing up. My friends were my family. So I didn't have family like that. Come from a
Mm.
broken home and shit. So
Sorry to
I
hear that.
yeah. So I went to the streets and found people with similar backgrounds.
Right.
And their family became my family. So the people that I really grew up with, it affected me. You know what I mean? If they're still in
Mm.
my life now, it affected me whenever they're like, hey, yo, fucking fuck you, this and that. Like I don't fuck with you because of this song or whatever. You know, it does affect me, but I stick strong in my mind with, you know what? Music is music. It's art. Like I'm just expressing myself.
Yeah,
And if that's doing wrong, that's on you. You know what I mean?
that's
If
facts.
you take it a certain way, that's something that you got to deal with, not
Yeah,
not me. You know what I mean?
100%. I want to give you. I'm not gonna say pushback, but I'm gonna give you something that I discovered in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if you agree or disagree with it.
All
Being
right.
completely honest, right? So I feel that exact same way, right? My story is I kept my real thoughts in my poetry before it became music because anywhere I went in this world, my actual thoughts were like immediately put down, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like the only place I can go where someone would listen to me was hip hop, right? Like the beat that came on, it was listening to me, and I
Right.
was just talking to it.
Yeah.
Not that it was good; that's just what I was doing. And as time went on, people were upset, and I had that same mindset of like, man, you know what? Shoe fits, wear it. Like I'm not
Right.
talking about you, and most times I wasn't. Sometimes I was, but someone had introduced something to me that I have my own take on, but I want to hear your take on it. What if you refuse to see, sorry, what if you refuse to be empathetic about what I was going through
Mm.
that made me do what I did to you? Like, what do you feel about that?
Um. Honestly, bro, like when it comes to empathy for people, um, I mean, we all grown. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm a human. Obviously, I feel some type of way about people's feelings. I'm also a Pisces, so I'm really in tune with myself and my emotions. But as far as empathy, especially when it comes to music, bro, I can't stress it enough that I just don't care about what people think. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's taken me so far with music and my development as an artist because I don't care. You know what I mean? I really don't care how anybody feels. And it's even hard for me to acknowledge people that like really fuck with my music. Like, hey, yo, bro, I fuck with your music, this and that. Cause it's like, all right, cool. Cause at the end of the day, I just do it for myself.
Right.
Like I don't do it for the music, for the money. I don't do it for the fame. So, and I honestly, I don't even do it for the people that could relate. Like
Yeah.
it's fucked up to say, but I can't even.
No, I don't think that's fucked up. I think that's true poetry.
Yeah, like I just don't focus on like when I'm writing a song, I'm not like, oh, hope people fuck with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is really relatable. Like so, as far as empathy, like I said, if you're somebody that I really care about, I'll be a little empathetic, you know what I mean? About like, damn, I hurt that person's feelings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm usually always the one who reaches out first. If I fuck with you and I have respect for you and we didn't disrespect each other, there was no words thrown, then I'll always reach out to that person if I want them in my life, especially if it's over petty ass shit like music. Like,
Right.
oh, you said this and said that. We grown, you know what I mean? We could talk about it. I wasn't talking about you. if you still feel the same way, you can make a decision after that.
100%, man. I would also say, tell me true or false for you, because I like that answer. Sometimes you don't know how to articulate what you're upset about until you make music about it.
Yeah, 100%.
And
True.
then you can have the conversation. So that's true
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
true. Yeah, that's true. For
Okay.
sure.
Got it, man. It's crazy hearing that you put a lot of, because you're right. Like Picasso never fucking picked up like, bro, people are gonna fuck with this right here.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you know what I'm
Bro.
saying?
Yeah, he just did him.
Whatever's on his fucking brain, he's like,
Exactly.
I'm a fucking cook. I'm a cooking
And
right
that's
now, bro.
true artistry, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like I see, no knocking anybody, but I see other artists that imitate other artists that they fuck with. And obviously like there's trends of certain sounds. And we scroll on Instagram, TikTok, and we just see like I could see a dope ass artist, but it's like, oh, they sound like everybody else. You know what I mean? And to me, it's just like you gotta do you, man.
100%.
You know what I mean? You gotta just fuck what everybody says, even if you got 2-3 followers on Instagram, no views. Like you just gotta do you, because at the end of the day, if I'm not making music for myself, I'm in the wrong.
Right.
That's not what I got into it for, and now I'm switching up on myself, and that's not being authentic. You know what I mean?
I feel that, bro, and that's exactly why we made Nobody's Listening. So because I feel like in today's world, it's really hard to get artists like yourself who really put their all into the artistry of it, like their feelings and emotions. That kind of gets drowned out in the noise of everything. Not to say that whoever's on shouldn't be on. Like,
right, yeah, no. Yeah. Credit to him for sure.
Exactly. But to me, there's a difference between talent and artists, right? Because it takes talent to copy something and make it good.
Yeah.
Everyone can copy. Not everyone can make it sound good. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's big facts.
So my question for you is, in today's world, right? You said you started making music at 15.
Right.
When did the content game enter the music for you?
Probably like a few years ago, to be honest with you. Like I wasn't ever big into social media, you know what I mean? But maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I started noticing, obviously, like, okay, we're leaning towards streams. We're leaning towards short videos. So it's you can no longer promote your music word of mouth. You can't just go pop the trunk and sell CDs. So yeah, I'd say like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, okay, like I got to start shooting little short videos, you know what I mean? And actually fucking, being consistent with that. So yeah, I'd say like 3 or 4 years ago.
Man, so what was that like for you? Like, what was it like to say, this is what I got to switch to? Were you upset about it? Or?
Yeah, I was pissed. Hell yeah, because then it's like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I got to do all this music shit. And you know how it is. If you're independent, you got to fucking do everything, you know what I mean, as far as music goes. And then now it's like, the song's done. Now I gotta make a fucking video. You know what I mean? Like
I gotta make the video.
Yeah, now I gotta like find a location, figure out what to wear. I don't want to wear the same shit as yesterday's video. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different ball game, bro. It's like a whole different level of just a learning curve. You know what I mean?
So walk me through what those struggles are for you, like today. Like, so imagine. I know that you got good product, right? You know you got good product,
right?
So what is it like, the struggle of making content today?
Well, it goes back to like, I know I got good content, so it's a little defeating of a feeling when you have good music and you really believe in the music, but the content creation is so hard to grasp,
right?
And it's so drowned out, like it's oversaturated on Instagram, on Reels. Even if it's not music, like there's just so many people posting every day. There's so much cool shit, you know what I mean? So it's really hard to stand out. So yeah, just trying to figure out how to stand out, like we were talking about before, and not repeating certain videos, finding some creative ways. But it's definitely it's really tough, like I said, because it's just a full-time job, man. Having a full-time job. And then it's like, okay, now I got a couple songs. Now I gotta go create content for him.
Yeah.
Now I gotta promote it. Now I gotta do this. Like, it's tough, bro. Like, honestly, I wish it was back in the day. To be honest with you, like just CDs, go to shows,
hustling,
posters on the wall. You know what I mean? Just pure hustling.
Yeah.
It's just oversaturated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then I do agree with that, especially myself as an artist, man. We were talking off camera about like, becoming self-sufficient at this point has become the goal.
Yeah.
Where like I heard you said you bought a camera, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
do you record your own music? You do all that yourself?
For the most part, I got my boy who produced my album that I just dropped. This Could Be You, Pasco. That's my main producer.
Mm.
I got another producer, Sky in Stockton. Shout out to him. But for the most part, yeah, I'll be at home. I learned from them. I got gamed up from them and YouTube. Shout out YouTube.
Yeah, shout out YouTube.
Bunch of YouTube videos. You got to put the work in. You know what I mean? If you want the knowledge, you got to go searching for it, and you got to put the time in. So a lot of videos, self-taught, but also helped out a little bit. Got Logic Pro, got a little bit of studio equipment, and just went from there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I go home after work, make a song or two or whatever, and yeah, go from there. But as far as like the ones that I really want to push, I'll usually have them produced by the actual homies. You feel me?
I feel that, man. That's cool. You mentioned your album, This Could Be
Yeah.
You, right?
Mhm.
So you dropped that recently, right?
Yeah, this last month. Yeah.
Last month, man. So tell us about the album. Like what went into it, themes, all that stuff.
Honestly, I didn't have a theme,
Okay.
so I'm not a theme person at all. Like
I remember you
I'm,
saying that. Yeah.
I'm real big on diversity, especially album wise. If it's a project, I'm real big on diversity because I want people to find me, and even just in general, if it's not an album, just my music in general, I want people to find me and be like, okay, I don't really fuck with this song, but damn, this song's different. I fuck with this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every song on the album is super different. Like you don't hear it and it's like, okay, like there's a certain sound he's going for. Like, nah, it's super diverse. So the album was like damn near 2 years in the making, to be honest, bro. I make hella songs. I make music all the time, and it gets pushed back, thrown in the vault, put a lock on it, forget about it. You know what I mean?
Why?
Because it goes back to venting. I make music just to vent. So like when I'm with the homies, when I'm with my boy Pasco, I'll go over there. He'll come through, whatever. Same with my homie Sky, and we'll just make a song, or I'll throw a verse on it or whatever, and just forget about it. And then come through the next day, don't even remember about that song, and just something fresh because I'm feeling this way.
I see
And
what you're
then
saying.
so when I found out, like, okay, I got like 10 songs, like, okay, let's review them. Let's throw another verse on it. Let's get some features. Let's make an album. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's when it was like, all right, I got hella songs. I'm dropping a lot. For people to take you serious as an artist, you got to have an album, bro. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Because then when people find you, they're like, okay, he's got an album. I can dive into this whole album and see what he's fucking with.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so the album was like damn near 2 years in the making, bro. Everything was all mixed and mastered by Pasco.
Shout out Pasco.
Yeah, Pasco Nav, and he did his thing on that. So it was a lot of back and forth, reviewing songs. Got a few features, a few music videos.
Okay.
And then obviously I uploaded it all by myself.
Shit, man.
So
why is it called This Could Be You?
So Pasco actually had the idea because in my video Won't Sync, I went out to Frisco and had a cardboard cutout and it said, "Be kind, this could be you." And the video was about like homelessness and like the fact that like don't judge people because you could be in this situation.
The same exact shit.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
So it went into that aspect of like my album, my songs, it really represents that. Like everything I talk about, like don't judge it because the shit that I've been through, you could have been through. And that
or you could still go through.
Or you could still go through. So it's really big on that as far as like if you don't fuck with my music, just listen to it. And I guarantee you there's something you can relate to. I said this before. It's like, if you don't like my songs, you don't like my music, that's cool. Because I've already acknowledged that I'm good at what I do. You just don't like my style. You don't like what I talk about. And that's fine. But there's definitely shit in there that you're like, okay, like he's speaking on what he's going through. You know what I mean? It's facts what he's saying.
That's true. So I love that, man, because I have been saying this recently. I was the kind of person where I would like a stupid kid, right? I would say, man, like if I was in that situation, I'd do this.
Yeah,
right?
Everybody does that, man.
And then I get in that situation. Guess what? I don't do. I don't do
You
that.
don't do that. Everybody's different.
Yeah. So I learned in my life, bro, that unless you have been in those shoes, you can't judge them. If you want to critique, that's fine.
That's different. Yeah,
but you can't judge them. Like if a waiter, you're at a restaurant, waiter's taking forever to like serve you food. If you haven't been a server, you haven't been a waiter, honestly, like you could be upset that your food isn't there, but you can't talk shit about the person.
Damn, bro, you just changed my mindset because I got a pet peeve of that when I go out to eat. If the waitress or waiter is taking how long, I get mad. I get
Yeah.
upset, and I don't look at it like that. So you're right. That is facts though.
But see, my thing is when I tell people that, first of all, I appreciate that. When I tell people that, they think I'm trying to make excuses for people. I'm like, no, I'm trying to
Mm,
save myself the fucking. It's a headache trying to be judgmental.
it
It's a
is.
fucking heartache
It
to try to
is.
be hateful, bro.
Yeah.
So like for
For some
me,
people, it's easy though.
but honest, they make it look easy because they do it so often. No, I
That's
can't
true.
name one
Yeah, that's
person who
true.
loves hating. Like I don't mean trolling.
Yeah, that's
Trolling
true.
is
That's true.
different.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
trolling they don't mean it. They just like they love the reaction. You feel me?
That's what it is. They love the
Yeah,
reaction. Yeah, you're right.
that's it. They don't like actually mean what they say, which is probably what pisses people off. You
And
feel
it
me?
also comes from a lot of insecurities too, I think.
That's
People that
true.
hate and not trolling really. I think people do that for fun, but like hatred, I think is a lot of like insecurities and shit you ain't dealt
Facts.
with. You know what I mean?
So how do you deal with hate?
I don't. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't. Do you get a lot of it in your life?
um, I wouldn't say now because I'm just out. I'm out of the circle. I'm out. I don't go out much. I'm not around a lot of people, so I don't give the opportunity to get hate other than
Yeah.
my music. And when I get like a hateful comment, it doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Delete it, block them, whatever. Like it is what it is. I ain't
Yeah.
tripping. But growing up, I mean, a little bit, yeah, because I was one of those kids that was kind of an outsider. I was popular in some form because I played basketball. You know what I mean? So I ran with the
Mm.
popular kids. But then when I went to high school, I became a huge stoner and I dropped
Mm.
out and all that shit. So I hung around a lot of different people that been through shit and the hate started happening, you know what I mean? Because I was trying to find myself. And when you're trying to find yourself, you're doing a lot of different things, dressing different, all this shit, trying to fit in,
Right.
whatever. So yeah, in that aspect, when I was growing up, I did get a lot of hate, I think, which is natural for a lot of people. But
Yeah.
now, hell no, bro. I stay out the mix, bro. To be honest, I'm just me and my lady, me and my close knit circle, and that's it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then if I do get the hate, I'm mature now, so I'm like, it is what it is.
How long did it take you to get to that point to have that mindset?
Shit, I'm 30 right now. I would say probably when I was about 25 or so. I
25.
mean, probably
Okay.
when the brain fully matured.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
bro. I feel like shit. I'm 30 as well,
yeah,
and it took me so fucking long, bro, to really like settle into like accountability mode.
yeah.
Where
That
we're
that part for sure.
man, like the saying, because people when they hear, hey, why don't you take accountability for something someone else did to you, they feel like they're trying to like, wait, so that person can't have any repercussions?
Right, right,
It's like, no, that's not what I'm saying, but what does it matter?
right, right.
You know, like someone hits you in the face, they go to jail, they get socked. What does that do for you?
Nothing.
It does nothing for
Does
you, right?
nothing.
Like,
Yeah.
how many movies and stories have we watched in the history of fucking life where like everyone's like, oh, they're about to pull the trigger to get revenge, and like, nah, I can't do it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? There's a fucking reason for it,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So my question for you is, and you don't have to answer this, but I heard you say, you know, like you came from a broken home, you
Mhm.
turned to the streets, you dropped out of high school,
Right.
man. I came from, I came from a place where people, statistically speaking, they don't necessarily develop a healthy mindset after
Right.
the
Right.
fact. And when I say statistics, I don't have a fucking stat to
Right.
back
Right.
that. But like,
I know what you mean though.
I go back home and people are still as jaded as they were when they were
They ain't
15,
learned.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question for you is, how did you shake that? Because statistically speaking, bro, people who drop out of high school by themselves, no matter what their background
They don't
is,
make nothing.
forget about don't make nothing. Their mindset is just like not.
Yeah, I feel that.
So
Yeah.
how did you break that?
Um, I stopped hanging around those people that drove me to that mentality.
Okay,
Um,
was that hard?
nah, because one thing, my girl.
Okay,
I met my girl when I was 21, and changed everything, bro.
tight.
Shout out my fiance. Um,
Shout out Nitty's fiance.
she yeah, just naturally like change. I found love. You know what I mean? Like I had a lot of hatred in my heart, a lot of anger of the things that I went through in life.
Mm,
Why me? Everybody asked that question, and then dropped out of high school and did dumb shit. So I was just like on the wrong path. I was doing the wrong shit, hanging around the wrong people.
mm,
And she came into my life and was like, "Yo, if you want to be with me, like, you know what I mean? Like, she had her own shit, by the way. She was 18, had her own house already, like, had a job, like, most girls that we meet at 18, 19, 20, they don't got shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
She
Most
was,
people.
yeah, most
Yeah.
people. She was
Yeah.
independent and the drive was there. And so there was like no excuses for her. So seeing that was like, damn, I'm over here making excuses, hanging around these people that are getting me nowhere that, I smoke weed with every day. So, I mean, the short answer is her. She changed my mind state and made me get a job. My first job was when I met her when I was like 21, bro.
Shit.
I got a bank account when I was 21. I used to hide my money under the mattress in a shoebox or something. And I stopped selling drugs.
Damn.
I stopped smoking weed. Yeah, everything
She
changed,
really
bro.
changed your life.
Everything changed, and it was only because of love.
Yeah.
And I was the difference I tell people is I was ready for love though.
Ready.
It wasn't just like, oh, I fell in love and this. Nah, bro, I was
Not like
ready.
that, like the rom-coms, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? I had, love when I was a teenager, you know what I mean? Broken heart, all that shit. But at this point, when I met my lady, I went through hella shit at the age of 18 to 21 within those 3 years. A lot of change happened. A lot of bad shit happened to me. A lot of stepping back and figuring out who the fuck am I going to be in life. And I chose to not be anything until I met her still.
Shit.
And, but when she came into my life, shortly prior, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to find a relationship. I'm ready to settle down and give my heart to somebody again. Because I just had my heart broken as a teenager or whatever. Smoked hella weed, didn't give a fuck about nothing. You know what I mean? Like when you smoke or you do drugs or whatever, like you don't care about anything or yourself.
Yeah.
So at this point, it was about self-love. I found out what I wanted in life, and she just came in and just fucking changed everything, bro. So she was my motivation.
That's first of all, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. Again, I feel like I'm interviewing myself.
Yeah.
Because I went through something similar. I didn't, by the grace of God, I didn't turn to the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mainly because the streets refused to let me turn there. If that makes sense. Like my dad is a son of immigrants, right? First generation, born in America. And in the area in which we were born, like there's a lot of gang activity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that you have to join it. It's more so like you can't escape it.
Right.
Especially
it's there. It's outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had me right out of high school.
Okay.
So you are the son of immigrants and your friends are all gang members, but they all know what it's like.
Yeah.
So they don't want you.
They went through it already.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want. I can't name one legitimate. I don't want to say legitimate, but like people who are in that lifestyle for real. Like they don't want their kids to go through that, or their friends' kids to go through that.
I would imagine, yeah.
Exactly. So for me, I didn't turn to any of that, but I did turn to alcohol. As of this year, I'm going to be 7 years sober.
Congrats,
Thank
man.
you.
That's tough. Alcohol is way harder than anybody ever imagines, man. The withdrawals and shit I heard. And I actually just had a friend pass away a couple years ago from liver failure from alcohol.
Dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, it's something like 12% of the population like can't touch like alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is not alcoholic, by the way. She's not but no. But what I was getting at is like my girl saved my life in the same token, but all of my shit was mental.
Right.
I was jaded as fuck from this world, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I had so much, like you said, that hate in your heart is so fucking real, man. Like you become paranoid and jaded.
For sure, bro. Yeah.
That like everyone at every corner is like someone's trying to rob you, someone's trying to break your heart, someone's trying to break your fucking car window, whatever the fuck.
Put up the wall real quick.
Exactly, bro. And you do what you do to survive, and then you meet someone you love. Like it doesn't have to be like people think it has to be a love interest. Like nah, like someone who just gives a fuck about you, bro.
Yeah.
In our case, it just happens to be someone that you're in a relationship with. So one thing I have to ask you, right? Because I know how I feel about it. I'm curious what you feel about it. There are men our age. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just stating facts. There are men our age who feel like settling down, like with one girl, is like the worst thing you can do. Like you can only sleep with one girl for the rest of your life, right? I'm not asking about like loyalty in that sense. I'm asking, what do you say to people who think it's better to sleep around versus like just have one person in your life?
It's really hard for me to speak on that because everybody's different and
Right.
everybody matures differently and everybody wants things in life at a different age to
Yeah.
develop quicker, later, whatever. Um, Sleeping around is cool, man. But I think to touch on something that you said that really gravitated was, you know, when you come from a place where you don't have a lot of love and you find that love, it's like, oh shit, like
I'm not trying to lose this.
I'm not trying to lose that. Like fuck, I need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I love hard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, it was real easy to be like, I don't care about fucking hoes and you know what I
Yeah.
mean, looking cool and oh, I got this many girls and you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I never tripped off that. You know what I mean? Like to be honest with you, it was a natural switch to be able to be like, all right, I'm fully committed. And that's what it goes back to what I was saying was when I was ready to love, when
Yeah.
I told myself I was ready to love, that was one of the questions you ask yourself is, am I ready to commit to one person,
Mm.
not cheat and be loyal? And I'm all about loyalty, all
Yeah.
about respect and loyalty. So that's everything to me and everything to my woman as well. I treat my woman like a queen. You know what I mean? Like I'm not disrespectful to women at all. I don't tell my girl what to do. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
girl has her own independent life. I don't control her. She can go to the club by herself, whatever. Full
Shit.
trust. You know what I mean? And in return, I want the same amount of love and respect and honesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was real easy for me to not trip. Like I think it's natural though to be at our age and see, you know, friends that are like fucking hoes or whatever and be like, damn, like, I wonder what that's like now. You know what I
What's
mean?
that like? Yeah.
Shit, but you got to step back and realize, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hurt this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what would they do? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
if I did go and do something wrong, like, I'm jeopardizing hella shit. That's what people don't understand. Also, like,
Yeah.
I don't go do dumb shit no more. I don't do shit that's gonna get me in a point where I might go to jail or something like that. Because
Yeah.
I got a lady that I've been with for how long. We have a house together. You know, we got dogs. Like we ain't got no kids, but we working on it. I got a car payment. I got a job. I'll lose all that over what?
Over what?
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Over fucking some girl or over fighting some dude about something. You know what I mean?
It
So
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
So like it just goes back to my girl taught me a lot. This relationship taught me a lot about controlling myself,
Yeah.
maturing myself, and realizing, you know, the things that matter in life. And the shit that don't matter right now is fucking hoes and drinking with the homies and like I did all that at a young age. So and I think
Yeah.
that had a lot to do with it too. That helps is at a super young age I was doing all that shit. So I got it out of my system. You know what I mean? So now I'm grown and it's like I don't trip. You know what I mean?
Man, I see. I fuck with that. I fuck with that heavy, bro. I want to keep it on love, but what I'm curious about is you were talking about. Hey, did you ever have hatred for yourself?
Oh yeah.
How'd you
Oh
deal with
yeah.
that?
Um, I made music.
Yeah,
To be
I
honest,
felt
yeah,
like that was gonna be the answer,
yeah,
but yeah.
like that, and I looked in the mirror. You know what I mean? And
What'd you see?
I saw a really angry person. I saw my dad,
Mm.
and me and my dad don't have a good relationship. Everywhere I go, oh, you look just like your dad. Hated that. You know what I mean? I hated that. Oh, you look like your dad. Like, ah, fuck. So dealing with that, I smoked a lot of weed, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, but after being sober, um, just regaining the confidence of, you know what, I am who I am. I did what I did. This is where I want to go though, and that's what matters. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's facts.
You can't change the past, but you can change the future. So having love for yourself instead of hatred, it starts with having goals for yourself. I think, you know what I mean. If you don't have no goals, you're depressed. You start hating what you look like, hating what you dress like, all this shit, comparing yourself. You got to have some sort of goal and motivation for the future for you to be like, you know what, things are looking up, and then you finally look in that mirror and you're like, you know what, this is good. This is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is who I want to be.
I love that, bro. You said goals and motivation for the future. What are your goals for the future?
To get married.
Okay,
Supposed to get married this year. I want to
let's
get married.
go.
I want to have kids. I'm 30. I wanted kids when I was 25. Like I said, my dad wasn't a great father, so I want to break that.
Break the cycle.
Yeah, I want to break that cycle. I know I'd be a great father. And then obviously prosper with music for sure. I mean, I would want nothing more than to connect with new people and just make great music. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm looking forward to it, man. I love the music that I heard from you. I appreciate that you put your heart into your lyrics.
Yeah.
And also, before I let you go, I'm not joking about this. He's the only artist I know today. I used to do it that you still write.
I still
You
write,
still
man.
write on a
Pen
pen
and
pad.
paper, man.
Man, that's crazy. So you've never been able to switch over to
The phone?
the phone?
Nah, never. I can't. I think I tried it one time, bro, and I couldn't follow. I couldn't follow the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like it was just too tough.
Shit, bro.
So yeah, everywhere I go, if I show up to rap at somebody's house or whatever,
Mhm.
I got my notebook. If they,
Anyone ever look at you crazy like
all
that?
the time, man. I get those people that are like, "Yo, what the fuck? This boy got a pen and a paper." The fuck? I'll be at somebody's house like, "Hey, yo, you got a pen I can use?" You know what I mean? For what? Like,
For what?
yeah. So I mean, but I think it makes me unique. You know what I mean?
That does make you
So
unique.
I mean, it
You
is what it
gotta
is.
document that, bro. You got the next time you go into a session, like do a behind the scenes, bro.
Yeah.
Something
Hey,
like that.
fun fact: I got almost all my raps from day one. I got a
Really?
stack of notebooks.
That's
My
bro.
girl kept them all for me. I got a big ass fucking thing full of. I probably lost a few, but notebooks filled front to back all my lyrics from old songs.
That's bro. I'm jealous because like I listen to some songs like where the fuck did I write that at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
that's the good part about paper too, is where the fuck did I write that? Oh, let me go in this notebook real
Just
quick.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll date the notebook so I know where to look, and then boom, you can find it. And
yeah,
there's nothing to me. There's just nothing like doing this. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I think this motion gets my brain going.
Mm,
That's the biggest part too.
interesting. I fuck with that, bro. I mean, my thing is everyone has like their own creative process, and
Yeah.
I love that shit. Like I'm the kind of guy where I'll do like what I call method writing, right? So. Unfortunately, I didn't take the music career too seriously.
Right.
I did treat it like a diary, but the ones that I put out to the world were like kind of the fun ones.
Right.
There's something necessarily wrong with it, but at a certain point, you feel like you're repressing your actual voice.
Yeah.
So now that I am out of that lifestyle, I was like, man, like I want to tell those stories, but how do I put myself back in those feelings? So what I'll
Yeah, that's
do,
tough.
bro, what I do is I will literally go through those same habits. So if I played like a certain video game at that time, I will go back and play that
To
video
try to get
game.
that feeling.
Yeah, get that feel,
Yeah.
and it works every time.
Really?
It works every time, bro.
Damn, that's
It
crazy.
might not work immediately, but I'll have like the beats playing in the background, and I'll play the video game, and then like something will just click in my head, and I just fucking start going, bro.
Yeah.
Like
That's
sometimes it works.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, I was saying that to say everyone has their thing.
Yeah, they have their different method that works for them. For
Exactly,
sure.
bro.
Yeah, I agree
Never
with that.
lose that thing. Where can the people follow you at?
Instagram. I'm not real big on TikTok, just mainly Instagram, NittyGritty 209. YouTube.
NittyGritty.
Yeah, no spaces. That's the biggest thing. If you can't find my music on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anything like that, no spaces.
No spaces.
So
NittyGritty.
NittyGritty, capital N, capital G. That's it. It'll pop up.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, bro. Remember, when you think nobody's listening, somebody is.